In this video, I'm going to solve 7 questions of one-step inequalities. So let's begin. The first inequality is solve for x. Your answer must be simplified. So the inequality says minus 3 is less than x minus 10. So to isolate the x, I need to add 10 to both sides of the inequality. So on the left hand side I have minus 3 plus 10, and on the right hand side of the inequality I have just the x, because x minus 10 plus 10 is just x. So here one negative number, one positive number. The result is the difference between the two. 10 minus 3 is 7, and the result is positive because 10 is greater. So 7 is less than x, or x is greater than 7. So let's test this. Let's take 8, for instance, as the value of x, because 8 is greater than 7. So minus 3 is less than 8 minus 10. So 8 minus 10 is minus 2. Minus 3 is indeed less than minus 2. Okay, number line. This is 0, this is minus 3, and here is minus 2 is here. So minus 2 is to the right of minus 3, and minus 2 is greater than minus 3. Minus 3 is less than minus 2. Okay, so the answer is x is greater than 7. Good. Next question. Next inequality is solve for x. Your answer must be simplified. The inequality says 7 is greater than x divided by 4. To isolate the x, we multiply both sides of the inequality by 4. So 7 times 4 is greater than x, because x divided by 4 multiplied by 4 gives us just the x. So 7 times 4 is 28. 28 is greater than x, or x has to be less than 28. Okay, if 28 is greater than x, so x is less than 28. Let's take, for instance, 24. Okay, we plug in 24 instead of x. 24 is less than 28. So 7 is greater than 24 divided by 4. 24 divided by 4 is 6. 7 is greater than 6, so this is correct. X is less than 28. Next question. Solve for x. Your answer must be simplified. Okay, so the inequality says x over minus 6 is greater than or equal to minus 20. So to isolate the x, here we need to multiply by negative 6. Multiply by negative 6. And when we multiply by a negative number, the sign of the inequality flips. Okay, because we change the sign of the whole side of this inequality changes signs because we multiply by a negative. Okay, so on the left hand side I'm left with x. X divided by minus 6 multiplied by minus 6, I'm left with x. The sign of the inequality flips from greater than or equal to less than or equal to, and here I have minus 20 multiplied by minus 6, which is 120. So x needs to be less than or equal to 120. Okay. So let's take, for instance, let's take 90. 90 divisible by 6. Let's take 80. 84. Okay. 84 divided by minus 6 has to be greater than or equal to minus 20. Please check. Okay. Divided by 6, 60 divided by 6 is 10, 24 divided by 6 is 4, so this is minus 14, minus 14 is greater than or equal to minus 20, okay, because on the number line, if this is minus 14, this is minus 20, minus 14 is to the right of minus 20, so this is correct. So the answer is that x needs to be less than or equal to 120. X needs to be less than or equal to 120. Solve for x. Your answer must be simplified. So the inequality says x minus 15 is less than or equal to minus 6. So to isolate the x on the left hand side of the inequality, I'm adding 15 to both sides of the inequality. So on the left hand side I'm left with x. So x is less than or equal to minus 6 plus 15. Here minus 6 is negative, 15 is positive, so the result is the difference between the two. So 15 minus 6 is 9, and the result is positive because 15 is greater than 6 and 15 is positive. So x needs to be less than or equal to 9. Now let's test this. Let's plug in a value that is less than 9. Let's plug in 8. So 8 minus 15 needs to be less than or equal to minus 6. X minus 15, 8 minus 15, 8 is positive, 15 is negative, so the difference between the two is 7, and the result is negative because 15 is greater than 8 and 15 is negative, so the result here is minus 7. Minus 7 is less than or equal to minus 6. It is less than minus 6. Okay? Because on the number line, minus 6 is to the right of minus 7, which means that it is greater than minus 7, or minus 7 is less than minus 6. So this proves this. It says that x has to be less than or equal to 9. X is less than or equal to 9. Good. Solve for x. So inequality says 4x is less than or equal to 12. To isolate the x, we need to divide both sides of the equation by 4. So on the left hand side of the inequality, sorry. So on the left hand side of the inequality, when I divide both sides by 4, so on the left hand side I'm left with x. So x is less than or equal to 12 divided by 4. So x is less than or equal to 12 divided by 4 is 3. So this is the result. Let's test check. So let's plug in 2, for instance, instead of x. So 4 times 2 needs to be less than or equal to 12. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 is indeed less than 12. Okay, so x needs to be less than or equal to 3. X is less than or equal to 3. Good. Solve for x. Your answer must be simplified. 15 is less than minus 5x. So 15 is less than minus 5x. So here, to isolate the x, I need to divide both sides of the inequality by minus 5. And since I'm dividing by a negative number, this will flip the sign of the inequality. So on the left hand side, on the right hand side, I'm left with x. X multiplied by minus 5 divided by minus 5 leaves me with x. And on the left hand side of the inequality, I have 15 divided by minus 5. Okay, so on the left hand side, I have minus 3 is greater than x, or x needs to be less than minus 3. Okay, now test. Check the value. Let's take x needs to be less than minus 3, so on the number line, if this is minus 3, let's take minus 4 for instance, because minus 4 is less than minus 3. So 15 is less than minus 5 times, let's take minus 4. Okay, so 15 is less than minus 5 times minus 4 is 20. So this is correct. Okay, so x needs to be less than minus 3. X is less than minus 3. Good. solve for x. Your answer must be simplified. So the inequality says x minus 24 is greater than or equal to 9. So I need to add 24 to both sides of the inequality. So on the left hand side I'm left with x is greater than or equal to 9 plus 24. Okay, so x is greater than or equal to 9 plus 24 is 33. Okay, so now let's test this result. So let's plug in 34. 34 is greater than 33. So 34 minus 24 needs to be greater than or equal to 9. 34 minus 24 is 10. 34 minus 24 is 10. 10 is greater than 9, so this is correct. Okay, so x needs to be greater than or equal to 33. Good. Thank you for watching. So in the next video, I'm going to move on to this section, two-step inequalities, and I'm going to do this practice. So I will see you in the next video.